Hey everyone, welcome to episode 20 of Collecting and Connecting. We got a great episode today. I am excited to introduce not only our guests, but my two compadres that are the three amigos. We got 3Ball34. What's up, buddy?
What's up, fam?
Doing great. And we got Mr. Glenn himself, good looking accent wall. Hello, how are you, my friend?
What's going on?
Good. And definitely not least, but probably the best, we got Bleezy himself. Hello, welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Dude, we are so pumped that you're here. 3Ball has 79 questions that he has prepared in order, chronological order of your Top Shot history. So I hope you are prepared today.
I'm ready. I know a thing or two about my Top Shot history, so I can answer those questions.
Yeah, he's not kidding. I couldn't be more prepared with clips or pictures, things I've pulled from your Twitter profile, as well as just stuff to talk about. I don't even know what we're going to get to all of it, but definitely want to talk Top Shot, some in real life stuff that you've gotten to do, but just hanging out, CNC, Collectin and Connectin. We've been vibing and hanging out in the chat, so I thought we'd all get together here on screen.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the thing with Top Shot's always been for me, like, I've weirdly always searched for connection about Top Shot through my entire journey. Cause like early on, it was like during the pandemic, no one was really, there wasn't like a place to gather to talk about it. So it was like hard to strategize and figure out what to do. So when CNC came along, it just seemed like an easy fit.
Wait, time out. You mean you felt like you didn't know what you were doing in Top Shot at one point in time?
Yeah, man. I mean, and they keep, things keep changing. You gotta keep up and pivot your strategies all the time.
Sometimes.
No, for sure. I definitely still like make decisions, and then a week later, I'm like, oh, why did I do that, or why did I not do that? You
must be talking about buying Flipper Celtics moments.
So let's get on that. That's a great bring up right there. Let's talk fandom, because Bleezy is the co-captain of the Los Angeles Clippers, the 310 Yacht Club. That's awesome,
Let's
dude.
go, baby.
Thank you for all your hard work doing. Anybody that's a community leader, a captain, co-captain, doing anything for the communities, man, thank you, because you guys are working so hard for the rest of us. Appreciate you.
Wait. Before we go forward, we got to bring up James Harden.
Jeez.
We have to. That just happened. It's hot off the press.
Yeah, come on. Couple weeks ago.
Couple weeks ago it happened. Yeah, that's what.
It happened last week, but we are recording right now. Just dropped, and you are the Clippers co-captain. Glenn wants hot takes. James Harden traded to the Clippers. Talk to us.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm torn, you guys. I don't want James Harden anywhere near any team that I root for. But he's an undeniable talent. You know what I mean? He does increase the talent level on the roster for sure if he wants to play. So I think it's all about how motivated he is, to be that guy. So we'll see. I wouldn't say I'm optimistic, but
Are you skeptically optimistic?
Let's go with that. I'm skeptically optimistic.
There we go.
I'm cautiously pessimistic, maybe. I don't know.
You do realize how close LA is to Vegas, right?
I do. There's a pretty big party scene here in LA too, so he won't have to go far, I don't think. Yeah. But yeah, it is dangerously close to Vegas.
You can just take two lefts and he's there.
Exactly. Yeah,
incredible talent. Definitely brings a lot there, but could bring a little baggage as well. In Dallas, as Mavericks fans, we're currently feeling a little bit of that vibes from the outside world with Kyrie. So a lot of people didn't want him to come to us, and he's also an incredible talent. We'll kind of see how it shakes out for both of us.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get back to the Clippers here in a second, but you're also a monster Celtics fan. We see you pop up a lot there through Top Shot and Collectors, and through both of your collections in Celtics and the Clippers. You've climbed leaderboards, and you're able to do a lot of in real life events and connecting and collecting with other collectors in those bases. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so early on, I definitely was focused on Celtics. That's the team I'm a fan of and have been for a long time.
Why?
Why? That's a good question. So I started in rooting for the NBA through Carmelo Anthony. So I grew up in upstate New York, so I was always a Syracuse fan.
Connected it to
Carmelo.
Glenn real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Glenn's like, oh, yes.
Oh, I'm listening. Yeah, so started watching the NBA through Carmelo Anthony. And then when he went to the Knicks, I kind of decided I needed to pivot because I can't root for the Knicks. Just I don't know why. That's just like
Wait,
not
you're
a
from New
thing.
York.
Shots fired.
Can't root for the Knicks.
You
Can't
Yeah,
root for the
I
So
Knicks.
can't
you're a
either. It's
Syracuse
okay.
fan watching Carmelo, and he's just dominating, going to the Final Four championship, and then he goes to the Knicks, and you're like, nah, can't do it.
Well, when he's in Denver, I was
hating the Lakers.
I was definitely a Nuggets fan when he was like playing
Okay.
for the Nuggets for sure. My first NBA jersey that I bought for myself was a Nuggets Carmelo jersey. And
Blue.
yeah, so when he went to the Knicks, I did not want to go root for the Knicks. I was always kind of like anti what everyone else was a fan of. So I was around a lot of Knicks fans, Giants fans, Jets fans, and I just was not going to root for those teams. So that's about the time when I pivoted to being a Celtics fan. After college, I moved to Boston, so it was like really easy to follow the Celtics and the Bruins, and I went to a bunch of games. So that's really when I started getting it. My brother was living there, and we kind of became closer through watching the Celtics and following the Celtics together.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's why I'm a Celtics fan.
Glenn, what'd you think about when Carmelo came to New York? We talk to us about that.
I mean, it was exciting. I feel like they traded half of our team for him. So they kind of gutted it. They had that 1 year, I think it was 2013, where they made the second round of the playoffs and then got killed by Indiana, or the Pacers. So yeah, I don't know. His time there is it's good and bad. There was the way he plays basketball didn't lend itself to making necessarily his teammates better, especially in New York. And I think he gets a lot of crap for that. But he still is an amazing scorer. He's one of the best, scorers probably we've ever seen, especially one-on-one, right? Like he could kind of take anyone out. So yeah, there's mixed feelings there, positive and negative.
Score. Yeah, he's definitely a black hole. That's a great point where the ball would get to him. That's why I'd never thought him and Iverson would work there in Denver. So it made sense that they were going to move him and do different things. But I can see why you're anti Knicks, Bleezy. Us down here, we have that a little bit, but that's just because the Northeast treats us like we're less than that. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I didn't.
That's not true.
Yep, we all heard
on.
you say it. We all heard you say it, and none of us like the New York Giants either. So it's okay. You're in a safe space. We're all Cowboys fans on this call as of right now.
This isn't your podcast with Torque where it's all three of the same people in here. Oh, we love the Mavs.
I didn't even wear a Mavs. There's no Mavs jersey behind me. There's no Mavs shirt. The only thing I'm sporting is the future world champion, the Texas Rangers. That's the only thing I'm sporting right now.
I do have to admit, I was expecting Treaticus to be here so we could just talk about the Celtics for a while.
Yeah, we bounced him on purpose because we knew you were coming, so that we couldn't do that. We have so many Celtics fans in CNC. I definitely want to get to that. I have some content here I want to bring up here on the screen so we could talk. We'll go Celtics first just because we're in that vibe. But you have been able to go to some games. You have been able to collect some different things. You recently made a purchase from a collector that won something but didn't want to keep it. And you were able to put that in your house. Sorry to put you on spot, but you did put it on Twitter. So check this out.
Look at it. Right next to that moment, baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that is a ball autographed by the great Larry Bird. Last Dance Kid won it from the Larry Bird leaderboards for Run It Back, or his anthology leaderboard. And one day I got a message from Tim, the Warriors captain, saying he knew someone who was trying to move a Larry Bird ball for a very reasonable price. And we worked out a deal. He shipped it to me, and I got a new little digital frame to put my Larry Bird moments in, and voila, there it is.
Dude, it looks so sick next to that. But I also, first of all, I love the Larry Bird moment and the like the series. I'm sure you watched, like the behind the scenes Q&A with him was just Dude.
No, it was great, man. Austin did a fantastic job with that. Yeah, it was really, really well done. And you don't really get to hear a lot of Larry talking about those specific moments. So that was
Right.
like, it was very cool. Very cool. I'm definitely jealous of that experience for him.
Dude, I'm jealous that you have that basketball sitting next to that moment. And then, I mean, we might as well bring it up. Look, if you're listening, you should watch this because then you can see what we're talking about. What's right above that basketball in that moment, bud?
Thank you for bringing those up, King.
Yeah, so
those random people.
that's some original artwork from an artist who I follow on Twitter, Mvfossi, MVFOSSI. Her name's Ellie Kane. She did these were a couple of years ago. She did a series of three prints. These are all numbered to like 130 or less.
Wow.
And so they're pretty scarce, looks rare, you know.
Yeah.
But the Jaylen Brown one came out first, and I'm a big Jaylen Brown fan, so I bought it. And then she said she's planning to do a series, so I actually bought a 3-pack of these frames, thinking like, oh, if she does more, I'll get more.
Nice.
And
I love how you're pre-planning. You're like, well, I'll get a better deal if I buy 3 frames, and I might as well go ahead and do it. And it's like starting with one moment and then ending up with the whole set.
I thought the one on the right was Kemba for a second.
No, it is not. It's
no, I know I see that now, but you know what I mean? Like just from far away, I look like maybe.
New Jersey is pretty far away from LA, so I see how there could be some miscommunication.
Speaking of Marcus Smart, that's still pretty new for you. Talk about losing him. Is that tough? Do you feel that you've replaced him decent? What are your thoughts?
It hurts for sure to see him go. I love Marcus Smart. He was the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah.
But early returns seem to point to like Drew Holiday's a better basketball player than Marcus Smart. So it's easier to move past when the team looks the way they do right now. But it's not going to be the same winning a championship without him on the roster. I definitely thought he would be there when we hang banner 18. But yeah, you know, nice I'm rooting for.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for
that too.
Nice number drop there. Just subtle banner 18.
I'm rooting for him, and I'm rooting for him in Memphis for sure. But
no, you're not.
No, I am. I want to see him succeed. I want to see the Celtics lift the title.
See, and it's interesting you say that because I wanted to bring this up with you because talking about the newer NBA fan, we all grew up with you had to be hardcore for your local team. Maybe if you moved, that if you were there long enough, you could eventually join a squad. But we're in a newer time. Players are moving more. You have NBA Top Shot where you could be a fandom of multiple teams. You could have an East and a West, like you do. We're in more of a time where people are fans of multiple teams and you could cheer for players on other teams that aren't yours. And it's not necessarily, the worst thing in the world. You're not going to be defriended.
Right. No. Well, I think you become a fan of players now more than in the past. Like, you root for guys. And I think Top Shot has definitely opened up like my scope of fandom, obviously. Like I am aware of players I would not have been aware of otherwise. I'm following teams that I wouldn't have been following otherwise. So it's like, it's definitely like a different thing now. You used to have to like pick your team and stick with them ride or die forever, or else people would chastise you. And now it's kind of a bit more like, oh, you like this guy? That's cool. Oh, you like that guy? That's cool too. And I prefer that. I think I don't think you should be gatekeeping fandom in that sense. I'm okay with other gatekeeps, but not that one.
Yeah, like football, baseball, hockey.
King Brett and I have definitely been a fan of Marcus Smart, and we talk about him. But there's another guy that was on your team previously that we talked a lot about highly with Treaticus because we just liked his defense, his scrappiness, team leadership, that type of stuff. You got to meet him with some other Celtics fans, and now he's on the Dallas Mavericks. So we're getting the presence of Grant Williams. Talk to us about this IRL event with Celtics, TSD. You guys are in the building. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So actually, this was a contest that the TSD Garden ran where you just had to post a video of you with your favorite moment on Twitter and explain why it's your favorite. And I told my brother, I entered it, and I told my brother, I was like, dude, you got to enter this. No one's entering this thing. And he's like, do I have to? I'm like, you don't have to, but like, you have like a 1 in 20 chance right now. Like, we should do it. So he did it, and he won 2 tickets to the suite for the home opener. And I was like, aren't you glad you did that entry? He's like, yeah, it was worth it. So
Wait, he won, but you did not win.
I did not win, but when you win, you get a +1.
Yeah,
right.
So he brought me as his +1. They let us.
This exact conversation happens between me and King Brad a bunch, where he's telling me to go enter something on Discord, and I go, "Do I have to?" And he goes, "It's 1 in 20."
Right? Why not do it, man?
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
So yeah, I flew to Boston and we went to the home opener. We got to go into the stadium early for shoot around, and that's the picture on the right. And we're all just like yelling at the players. Grant came over and took a picture with us. That's me and my brother in the background, the two in the far back. He's giving the peace sign. I got my arms up like this. And then the other photo is just us in our suite. You'll notice there's a few extra bodies in there. I don't know if you guys are counting, but we definitely like made some friends outside the suite and like invited people in, just to be like, oh, come check out what we got here with Top Shot going on. It was pretty cool.
Collectin and Connectin, baby.
Use my sign-up code.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But yeah, so that was definitely like a crazy experience. It was versus the 76ers. It was a tight game. There's a couple moments from that, like the Tatum Pro, the Challenge Pro. Oh, my cat's saying hi. Is from that. The Grant Williams S4 moments from that also. So it's it was a cool game to go to. That's my thing, man. I love collecting moments from games I was at. That's like a big thing for me.
Heck yeah. Top Shot debuts and games that BBleezy was in the building. Heck yeah, man. I think that's our first kitty cat on the show. I know we've had dogs. I don't know that we've had
making her Top Shot Collectin Connecting episode 20 debut.
Yeah, there you go.
I got two of them. This is Milo, who's now making his presence felt. Yeah, so this is my boy Milo.
Now we got to know the other one. Is it Butterfinger?
No, her name is Nikita, like Nikita Khrushchev, the Russian dictator.
Yeah,
yep. Named after Khrushchev. Yep.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yep. Very nice.
So I have a quick question. What would happen if the Celtics play the Clippers in the finals this year? It sounds like you really are at heart a Celtics fan, and Clippers are kind of your number 2 team. Is that right?
Speak loudly, co-captain.
Hard hitting questions here. Hard hitting questions. If that happened, I would be very excited for both teams. I would be rooting for the Celtics to win.
Nice.
For sure.
Would you wear like half a jersey of one team, half of the other? You would show up unhouse divided, house solely Celtics.
This house is not.
Oh, let's go. Banner number 42 right there.
The Clippers community is upset with you right now.
They've been pretty understanding. It's no secret. They know that I'm a Celtics fan first, but I think, they see that like I do go to Clippers games. I am supportive of the team and trying to create like utility for the moments and for collectors. Sure. I think they all kind of appreciate where I'm coming from and they've been very welcoming. So nothing. It seems like there's no hard feelings about my Celtics fandom for them.
Well, let's go there while we're touching on the Clippers. You've been on the floor for them, shown up and had some collectors together. You got some floor seats there with Kelly Olynyk getting some jumpers. Talk to us about being there.
Yeah, so this was I actually wasn't at that game on the left, but there was another game. Oh, am I? Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's you in the back. I was gonna make a comment that you're
always go to so many games you forget.
I know. I forget. Literally, I went to 6 games. I went to 6 Clippers games last year with the 310 Yacht Club that were all free tickets for me.
Awesome.
So yeah, we took a photo on the floor. We definitely get in the 310 Yacht Club Discord, guys. It's too easy not to. But yeah, we did a photo on the floor. Another game, we did free throws on the floor. We got to take free throws. The game on the right, we actually had a suite, but this is a long story. We went to a preseason game. That's not what this is from. And I was on the way in, I was wearing the shirt, and a Clippers employee was like, "Oh, you're with the Yacht Club? Do you want to do a game at halftime? Like or after the first half, you can play a game and maybe win a prize." And I was like, "Sure." So at halftime, they came and got me, and I was just sitting there with like the in-arena host, and after like 40 minutes, she was just like, "Actually, this isn't going to happen. But next time you come to a game, find us and we'll get you into something." So that photo that you were showing is from the next game I went to. I showed up and they were like, "Yeah, come down, sit on the floor until we're ready for you." So I watched warm-ups like right there on the floor, the beginning of the game, right there on the floor. And then And then they had me play like a game where the hats shuffle around and you got to figure out where the basketball was under.
Yeah.
And as soon as she told me that was the game, I was like, I'm going to win this. I'm
Little
very good.
retard throwback.
I'm very good at these. Like, I know I'm going to win
That's
this.
like our childhood game.
Yeah. So I won it, and I won a hat signed by the entire Clippers roster from that
No
season.
way.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So awesome, dude.
So
And then
sick.
went back up to our suite. So I didn't watch the whole game from the floor, just warm-ups in the beginning. But
Just the tip.
Kelly Olynyk was there for the Jazz, and I had to take a picture of me and Kelly Olynyk together because some people claim that I am Kelly Olynyk because I look like him. So like,
Well,
we've never
she
seen
was.
Bleezy and Kelly Olynyk in the same place at the same time. So I had to
So
like
you were
snap the
proving
pic
it.
to prove
Like,
it.
see,
Yeah.
now are my my stunt doubles here.
You guys are the same height too, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
How
No.
tall are you, Bleezy? You are
I'm
standing in the back in all these pictures.
79 feet tall.
I'm 6'1". I'm not like
Okay.
that tall. Yeah.
But don't say that because
Yeah, I'm way
under-
shorter.
You're making other people feel.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like
I'm very
me
tall.
saying, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
just over 5 foot.
you're a monster,
5'11" and 8/4.
So I did pull both of those videos. Both are tough on listening and showing them. The hat shuffle was awesome because you do celebrate, but I did want to pull this up since you did mention it. Figured we'd go ahead and get a look at this left-handed stroke. You did get to go onto the floor, and you did give a shout out to Top Shot, and I wish we could hear it, but it's
I was really hoping the shot was going to go in. That was the plan. It did not.
Well, as of right now, no one knows that.
Right.
stepping
don't
up there with
ruin it.
confidence. Turn to the camera. Top shot, lefty, good form. Oh man, it was
Back
right there.
iron.
Really close.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be it, man. That's so cool to be on an NBA floor right there. Where I mean, they get to do it there. How awesome!
It's
is that?
intimidating, man. I got to tell you, even though there's no one in the stands, it's like it feels like everyone's watching you. You know, it's a lot. It's a big. It feels like a big stage.
Bleezy,
It is a big stage.
Bleezy.
Yeah.
And even when no one's there, that still means like 92 people are there.
Right. Yeah. Which
Like,
is
that's not
still a
full
lot.
audience. That's
Right.
still bigger than like Little League games, you know?
Yeah, that's more people than I had at my stand-up shows when I was doing stand-up. So yeah, it's definitely that's a big crowd for sure.
Now stand up. That's more nerve wracking than shooting free throws.
Well, it depends. I don't know. At that time,
You were
I hadn't been
prepped for the
playing.
moment already.
Yeah, I hadn't been playing basketball at that point. Like that was my first time touching a basketball in maybe 8 years.
Oh, wow.
There. Like I had no practice or warm up. I'm now playing ball like once a week, so I would probably be better now. If I would be
So
more
like round
comfortable
2,
with it.
there's a higher percentage chance you're going to make that shot.
Right,
After
exactly.
every
It looked good for not playing.
I have
Thank
to
you.
say though, the 1 or 2 clips I watched you doing stand up is pretty hilarious. I must
Oh,
say.
thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
You really
Easy
did your
mama.
research, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm also a mama's boy. So.
Oh, all right. Nice.
Dude, it
That's
was
so
so
funny.
great. I always
Thank
joked
you.
I want to do stand up comedy, but instead I want to call it sit down comedy because I like queso and I'm fat.
You
and I
can do
just
that,
wanna sit
man.
down and do it. So.
Yeah.
But dude, seeing you on stage, you killed it, dude. Just like
Thank
your
you.
cat's doing right now.
Yeah, he's really making his presence felt right now.
That's right.
Glenn, you have
Yep.
a game here that you'd like to test his fandom. Glenn likes to test. He's been sending me Mavs pictures
Uh-oh.
of random Mavericks to see if I know who they are. Just
Oh,
sending me the
no.
picture and just seeing if I can.
This one's
name
not
them.
bad. This one's not.
This
one's
one's
pretty
not
easy.
bad. I was actually
Okay.
pretty excited
John
when I saw
Evil.
this one. This
Yeah,
is
so basically we're gonna try to once every episode we're gonna just kind of show a player that maybe hasn't been on the team for a while or that didn't play that many seasons with the squad and just see if you can recognize him, you know him based on one picture.
Okay.
But this guy, I don't think this one's that hard for you, especially if you've been a Celtics fan for a while. This should be easy.
Okay.
yeah, not the guy in the background.
I hope it's Larry Bird.
It's not Larry Bird.
Oh, I'm nervous, you guys.
That would have been great.
Oh man.
Glenn, I actually knew this one. I was
Is
shocked.
that see, this is I should know. Is this Leon Poe?
Nope.
Nope. We'll get you one
Who
more
is
guess.
that?
So he played for the Celtics for like 5 years, and he actually did have a pretty big role. Like
I want to say
up,
2
but-
different stints, but I'm not positive.
No,
on
I
that.
think it was like a 4 or 5 year. He played like 20 minutes a game. He was a big bench guy for them.
Played for the Mavs.
And then he
And I see
actually,
it's LeBron back there. I should know it.
Yeah, that's why I was saying don't name the guy in the background.
I
He
know.
did play for the Mavs also. That's how I knew him. Otherwise, I would have no idea.
And he finished on the Clippers. He played like very sparingly on the Clippers.
Wow, making him feel worse for not knowing him.
Yeah,
No, it's
man.
okay. I know I put you on the spot. It's just
I'm really not sure.
Start with a G.
Okay.
Does his last name start with a G?
No, but
No.
same
Is it-
initials as
is it-
you, Bleezy.
As me? Oh, Brandon Bass.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. There you
Got
go.
him.
You got it.
Pow, 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 pow.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, you
nailed
got it. What do you
talking
mean?
about?
You got it.
Nailed it.
LeBron
That's the
and
first time
BB.
we've done that, Bleezy. I love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry to
Okay.
put you on the
First
spot.
time.
We're probably gonna do that from now on, just to have fun. That's all.
Yeah, I liked it. You've been able to go to some really cool games. Obviously, being a Celtics fan, they've been pretty good recently, but also just being in Top Shot, utility of your collection. You've been able. You mentioned connecting more with your brother, and you guys are going to games.
Yeah.
Man, look at these 3 photos. I'm gonna roast you just for a second because it's
Okay.
a funny little thing you do when you're posing. You take pictures like this, and I love it.
You are not the first person to roast me on this.
No, and I
Yep.
figured not,
Yep.
and I want to show you these and let you comment on them, but then I'll show you something funny about myself right after. So
Yeah,
talk to me about these three different games with your brother.
These
right
are
here.
3 different games with my brother. On the left is round 2 of the 2022 playoffs against the Bucks.
Oh my gosh.
I forget what game number it was off the top of my head, but it was the one where Giannis threw the ball off the backboard to himself and then dunked it.
Oh yeah.
I won these tickets from Top Shot, and I flew on like 2 days notice, flew back to Boston to go to this game.
Wow.
And I remember when that moment happened, I turned to my brother and I was like, they're going to Top Shot that dunk for sure. The Celtics lost this game. I did buy that Giannis moment. I had to have it. The middle photo, I think we're in the exact same seats, but this is from game 4 of the NBA Finals in 2022, which I also won tickets to from Top Shot.
Shout out.
And again, 3 days notice, flew back to Boston to do this.
As you should have.
Of course, how could I not? And the Celtics were dominating and then just did not score for the last 5 minutes of the game. Curry had 43, and it's Steph Curry's legendary finals moment from this game, which is one I probably will not ever own because I'm not spending $3,000 on a Steph Curry moment. And then on the right is from the opening night suite that my brother won tickets to from the TSD Garden. So yeah, and the thing you're roasting me on is like the face. So when
the happiness 3-ball. That's what it looks like. Happiness.
I went to the tour in Portland also this past year, and they did like a scavenger hunt where they wanted you to go around and take photos of yourself in front of different Portland locations, and every photo I took is like that. And Poker Pro Eric was giving me, he's like, look at Bleezy's face in all these photos, he's always making the same face. So yeah, I definitely heard
these.
Wow, you guys are really ready for this.
He's like an ex-girlfriend grabbing all your old stuff.
You got Alexo, Chewy, got Lead in there, Dream Shaker. Who's to the right of Dream Shaker there? Is that the T-Wolves?
It's the T-Wolves captain. I forget his name, but that's who that is. I'm sorry. But yeah, man, this was crazy for me meeting all these people in real life after talking to them on the internet for a couple of years.
So
it was very surreal. And it's funny, like obviously, a lot of these guys I've seen on stream, some of them I hadn't yet. And like I would meet and be like, oh, I definitely know Blazer fan 503. I know that name. I know I've talked to him a ton. Can't remember which conversations I've had with this person. So after I met him, I then would have to go home and like look at my DMs and be like, what did we talk about? Who is this guy?
You're like, I forgot to say this.
Oh, that guy. Right. Yeah. It was very surreal. But it was cool. It was a very fun experience. I hope they do it again, the tour.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's very cool that they were able to get, especially you guys captains all together, but one community all there and do a bunch of different events around the game. I think that was very special. It was really cool to see from all over the world to watch. But I wanted to roast you so that we could roast me a little bit. I think I make the same face. I got me and King Brett here at 2 games and one where he's there, but he's not with me. But I mean, I'm doing the same thing. So
it's happiness, 3-ball. It's happiness,
Just top shot future fandom just exuding out of us.
Yes, sir.
So funny.
When you win tickets from Top Shot, apparently this is the face that you start making over time. So
For sure.
it's rubbed off on you.
You have to. You can't help it.
Yeah,
That's
King Brett and I have been to 4 games together, and all 4 he's won the tickets, and I've been the +1. So I owe him a ton.
Yeah, you better start winning, man. You got to pay it back.
sure.
That's what I keep saying. I'm like, look.
And our first one was the Western Conference Finals, and we got to go see them against the Warriors, and Curry and them roasted us. So we can feel you on how your experiences as well.
Yeah. Way to bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
You might, real quick, Bleezy, what set are you most excited about on Top Shot recently? Is there a certain set that you're collecting or going for?
So I've been struggling with how to handle the Run It Back Origins set, and I gotta say I'm not handling it well, if I'm being honest. When they announced it, I was immediately like, oh, well, I'm gonna do the Tatum challenge. So like, because Jalen is part of it, that dunk on LeBron is iconic. I have to have it. So I'm like, I'm already in for half. And then I was like, I might as well do the second half and like just do the Jokic challenge first. And when the Jokic challenge dropped, I started talking to people and I was like, I don't know, these prices seem really low. I could probably just buy Tatum and Jalen on the marketplace and call it a day. And then maybe 3-4 days later, everything just took off. And the Jokic challenge is now worth like $800, that reward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't, I can't do that first half. And now I'm back to doing the Tatum. So I did the Tatum challenge. I'm getting that today or when we're recording this.
Congratulations.
You got it last week.
Right. I got it last week. I pulled an amazing serial number too.
Oh, what was it? No,
stay tuned next week.
No way.
So yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself because when I was tracking it, I probably could have done that Jokic challenge for like $300, and now it's like $1,600 for me to finish it. So I'm probably not gonna do that and just let that first half and the Luka reward go past me. Sometimes you gotta, let things go. I'd rather save the capital for the upcoming Celtics and Clippers moments that are going to come out. And keep looking at some like older, vintage moments, as they say. I don't know. Do they say that? I'm saying that now. Vintage moments, S1, S2.
You do now. You started a trend.
I'm focusing on the new stuff that's coming out in vintage moments, probably more so. But yeah, I really like that Run It Back Origin set. I think like rookies of current players is like a really cool vibe, and so I was excited about that for sure. I'm like basically doing archive just because I got a bunch of the moments in the packs I bought, the Origin packs, and it's like I'm 10 moments away from finishing archive. I might as well do it, but I wasn't really planning on it. That's been the story for me for S4 basically. Is I actually said in the beginning of S4 I was like, I'm gonna pivot away from sets, and I sold off Hustle and Show 3 and something else I can't even remember. I sold off 2 sets and I turned them into Seeing Stars, and I was like, I'm not collecting sets. And then S4 just made it really easy to do sets. Like the challenge Pro, Tatum was the first one, and there was only 5, and they were all really easy. So I did that. All-Star Game, Jason Tatum won the MVP, and he was the reward. So I was like, well, I want that reward. Now I have the All-Star set. Extra Spice was just trade tickets. So I like deflated my account with a bunch of moments and finished Extra Spice. Hustle and Show 4 was the same thing. So now I have Hustle and Show 4. Spotlight set was basically in every pack, and you could trade them for nothing. So I didn't even buy any of those. I just traded my way to the Spotlight set. So it's like I finished like 5 or 6 sets in Series 4 without even really meaning to.
Yeah, you cracked me up in one of our DMs because you said, well, I was segueing away from sets, and I accidentally collected like 7 sets in that 4. Me too.
It just happened. And I don't really know what to do about it. I am like concerned about my overall moment count being too high, which it's not even at 1,000. I mean, there's people that have like 3,000 moments, but I tried to be net neutral with my account this year. So any new moment I bought, I'd have to get rid of at least one, was kind of like my goal.
Whoa,
so I actually,
an idea. Maybe I
actually deflated my account through S4 by like 200 moments. Like I was over 1,000. And at the end of S4, I was at like 840. And I added all those sets. You know what I mean? So I was definitely like wheeling and dealing all series long. I don't know if I'll do that again in S5 or not. I'm kind of like tapped out of things I just want to get rid of. but we'll see what happens. It's too early to tell how I'm going to handle this series.
Yeah, because whatever you decide now, it's going to change anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it took a little while for the Origins moments to be seen in the correct light because they were pretty reasonably priced. And I think people are just kind of used to being down on NFTs in general. So I think it took a little while. Like, wait a minute, these are rookie moments of most of the top young guys in the league right now that kind of missed their debut with S1, like before that, right? So these are going to be good collectors moments, I think, in the long run. And I think it just took people a little while to realize what was really going on.
I think word definitely spread, as you mentioned, Bleezy. You looked at it and thought, I'll just buy both moments off the marketplace, and in 3 days they escalated. I think word of mouth spread, and people came back to the platform. People started noticing. I noticed we mentioned Bird earlier, and when I came back to the stream, you guys were talking about it. I thought that brought a lot of collectors back to the platform. I'm seeing names that I haven't seen in a while come back and check things out. So excited that emotions are stirring for sure.
Yeah, and it's a good problem to have, right? Like, I want people to get into the product and like the product, and for account values, but also it's just like more fun when more people are doing it, you know. That and it'll be nice someday when I don't have to like explain for 20 to 25 minutes what this is to people every time they're like, "Oh, what is that?" It's like, "All right, well, here's what it is." Like, once it just becomes more like ingrained in NBA fandom and people just kind of know what it is, like people know what League Pass is, you know. And like when that was new, it probably took some explaining of like, well, it's a subscription that you sign up for and you can get games of your favorite team or every team, but there's blackout. Like, that was like a thing, but now everyone just knows what that is, right? Obviously this is a bit more complicated, but I do think like as younger fans start to grow up with it, it will not be such like a barrier for people. They'll just kind of be like, "Oh yeah, Top Shot, I know what that is. It's been around forever," you know. We're just
you mentioned sitting with your brother at the game and seeing Giannis and immediately saying that's going to be a moment. Like that's the verbiage we need. Like when they joke about it in Facebook movie when people started saying, "Hey, friend me later" on Facebook.
Right.
Like when it becomes the regular part of our repertoire, our routine and knowledge, and how everybody's talking. Like that's what we need to get to.
For sure, totally. And I have faith. Like, I think that we'll get there. Like, you know, people always pick and gripe about things Top Shot's doing, but
no way.
I try to remind people, no one has done this before. Like, you know, I design games for reality shows for my job. Like, I create obstacle courses and puzzles, and we test those things not endlessly, but we test them a lot before we roll them out live or on a show. They're doing this thing as they go. Like, it would make me like building flash challenges for these, like that would make me very nervous. Like, you don't know who, like, oh, last bucket of the first half sounds like a fun thing until someone who doesn't have a moment hits that shot, you know, and it's like, oh wait, we didn't anticipate that. Like, there's just, you don't know what you don't know until you see it. And so that it's a really difficult thing. And I know people are tired of hearing it, but like, we're still in beta. They're still figuring it out. Not everything's going to work. And I understand it's frustrating to spend real money on a product that's in testing, but like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to spend that money if it's weird for you or if you don't like it. Like, if you do like it, cool, hang out, do the thing. Also, you can be into Top Shot and not buy everything. You know, like my brother hasn't bought a single moment in S4, but like we still talk about Top Shot moments and things that are coming, but he's just not putting money into it because he doesn't have expendable income that way or want to put the expendable income to there, which is fine. And you can still be a fan and have a collection. Like, I collect cardboard, but only kind of recently just to like compare it to Top Shot because it's like the ancestor to it. And like, I don't go buy packs every time packs come to the store. You know what I mean? Like, just when I feel like it or when I have a little extra money to spend. Like, I think it's people came into it with this thing of like, it's like printing money, and that's not a real thing. There's no product you can buy that's just always going to make you money. If there was, we'd all be rich. We would just buy that thing and make money. You know, right? Yes, right.
Hopefully, a lot of those people are gone now, right? The flippers and the speculators. You want real fans and people that love the NBA and like to collect.
Totally. And that's not to say I won't flip moments or play the game sometimes of like, oh, I think this pack's going to be worth more than what it's selling for. Like, I'll play that game,
Sure.
but that's not really why I'm here. That's just part
Right.
of the
It's
game.
not your top priority.
No,
It's
for sure.
Top Shot was built for the fans by fans, and I think the sooner that comes to complete fruition, and like it's all the fans are there.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. You know, the first time it's announced at the game, or one of the announcers, like you said earlier, it's like, oh, that's going to be a Top Shot moment, like something like that. Like it's going to be nuts. But like you said, we're still in beta. We're still clawing our way, working our way there. We just got to enjoy the ride while we're on it, you know. Because 5 years later, we're gonna look back and be like, "Holy crap! Do you remember this? Do you remember that? Oh, I can't believe I got rid of 5 of those moments."
Seriously.
So many fun conversations. We'd be like, "Dude, I had 10 of those at one time. They were $1. Now they're $800 a piece." Like we don't know where it's gonna be. We just gotta enjoy the ride.
And sometimes that does keep me up at night where I'm like, oh man, I sold that rare whatever moment off a few months ago. I hope that doesn't bounce back and become worth a fortune. But you know, if it does, I have other things that will go up in value.
Exactly.
But again, I stopped checking my account balance or my account value. I feel like when I first started Top Shot, that was very like live token. What's my value? What's my account value at? And like, I don't care anymore. You know, like I don't track that anymore.
I purposely blocked that out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm not selling these things anytime soon. That once I started locking my account, the value doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah. It's locked. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's see what happens.
One quick point about being early, Bleezy, you mentioned finishing Series 4, getting into Series 5, that we're still figuring out. This has never been done before. We're basically astronauts. King Brett brought up the Texas Rangers at the beginning of this episode. They're currently in the World Series in baseball. We've had hundreds of years of World Series baseball, and they're still learning stuff from base running, guys tucking their gloves in the back, guys not touching the base when they come back. We have tons and tons of data to look back, and guys are still learning how to do certain things. So the fact that we're in year 5 and you're talking about testing, we're going to run into dead ends and cul-de-sacs and things that we got to turn around and go a different direction. So sorry to be hopped up, but when y'all were talking about that, it got me excited. So I wanted to at least bring that up.
Of course, dude. Yeah. I mean, we're all learning together. And the thing is, I do think Top Shot listens when we like speak out and say like, oh, we didn't like this, or, oh, this needs to change.
Sure.
It's just change doesn't happen automatically and fast, especially when you're dealing with a huge entity like the NBA. Like there's all kinds of politics and red tape that we're unaware of as collectors that they have to deal with. But I do feel like they've shown that like they're listening and making changes, and they want us to like the product. And
100%.
For sure, those of us that have been here day to day, we're seeing that there's been feedback and criticisms that have been given to the team, and things have been corrected to those criticisms. So 100% they're listening. Great point.
The website's awesome at this point. I mean, it's so comprehensive. There's so many ways to collect. There's so many ways to look at your collection and sort, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like, let me give one quick example. Remember how when they were doing leaderboards, if you lost, you still lost your moments?
Right. Yep.
People were like, "Oh, that's not fair," and then they listened. Like, you can submit your moments, and if
that was pretty fast. That change was pretty fast, right? Like we're already there now. Yeah, and think about like where we were. I don't know when exactly you guys started, but I was right before the February 21 big boom.
All
and
similar.
Like, they were all on the website. And like it would crash and pack drops would fail, and they were always stress tests. And now we have like
this queue has been paused.
Yeah, all the time. And now we have scheduled drops. They're on the app. They sell out instantly. We have an app that you can buy moments through on the marketplace.
Which is insane.
Like we've come so far in 2 to 3 years. Like give it enough. Where are we going to be 3 years from now? You know, like it's going to build quite quickly, I think, if you zoom out in the line. It's not going to be tomorrow, but over the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to be a pretty polished product, I think and hope, you know?
Dude, how sick is it opening a pack now? When
it's
it
awesome.
Like has the music and it gets you all hyped, and then it's like it shows on the screen, it's like Top Shot debut or rookie moment or low serial.
It's an event, you know? It's like it's not
excited.
Just totally. It's that dopamine hit for sure.
Yep.
Speaking of event and dopamine hit, this what this was, dude. I mean, we could be here for another hour. We definitely want to have you back, Bleezy. This was so much fun hanging out.
I'd love to come back, you guys. This was great.
Great. Collecting and connecting with us. Episode 20 with Bleezy. GW, King Brett, appreciate you guys. Y'all are the best. Join your local Discord if you're close to an NBA team or you're a fan of a team or multiple teams. And join CNC down below in the description. We'd love to have you guys. Appreciate all three of you guys and everybody for watching.
Thanks, Bleezy.
Sure.
You're the man.
Good stuff.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next time on Collecting and Connecting.